guys, and welcome to the Japanaholic Podcast. Today, I'm your temporary host, Alex, interviewing your normal host, the one you know and love, Taylor.
This feels weird to me. I'm usually the host, so I'm usually the one announcing that this is the Japanaholic Podcast, but I guess I'll take a nice break.
You're being interviewed. You got to get on your toes tonight. So,
yeah, exactly.
As many of you may or may not have heard, there is the podcast in which Taylor interviewed me, which might be the one before this, might be a couple podcasts ago, whatever. He gave me a list of 5 questions. Well, I decided to interview him. I'm throwing those 5 questions off the board, and I have 5 questions, or actually 7 questions of my own for him that he doesn't know.
Ooh. Awesome! I'm ready for this.
I gotta keep him on his toes. So I'm sure by now he's discussed enough personal things that I don't need to go too in depth in the personal life, because he kind of delved into that when asking me the questions on the previous episode.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to keep these questions more focused upon anime and that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right.
Just simply because it's an anime podcast. Don't need to don't need to rehash stuff we've said already.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start off with a really simple, easy one. I'm gonna start really, really easy. Top 5 animes or mangas. You can combine the two. It doesn't matter much.
Top 5. See, I've watched. I want to say a good chunk of anime, or I've seen a good chunk of anime to give off a top 10, but a top 5 is difficult. So.
Just like mine, it doesn't have to be any kind of order. Yeah. Just 5 particular ones of notes you really like.
Obvious one for anybody who is given the Japanaholic Podcast look, even looking at the titles. Eurocap is up there, top 5. One of my favorites. I would recommend that as probably one of the... It's like the most comfiest animes I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, I've seen like so many like good shows and with good storytelling and stuff like that. Eurocamp has just combination of just good music, good animation, and good character developments that honestly it's up there on my top 5. I don't want to say it's like the number 1 spot, because I kind of think my number 1, if we're listing this in order, but I'm not listing it in order, but anyways, Steins Gate. I love Steins Gate.
That's a very respectable choice.
I gave Steins Gate a good going late 2019, and I think I watched like the first 6 episodes, and then I took a break, and then I finished watching the first season, and then binge the entire second season, all in, I want to say, a span of 2 nights, because Steins Gate is a big, big series, and it's up there on one of my top 5s. Another one on my top 5s is New Game. I actually just started getting into the New Game series. I bought the first 4 volumes of the manga many weeks ago, and I really enjoy the New Game series. I've watched the first season, just getting ready to start the second season. I love the series. 4th series. Probably, I didn't expect to like this series, at all. And that was K-On! Because I didn't think I would like that kind of a moe show. But then I saw the first episode, and I was like, oh, this may be an anime that I really enjoy watching. So yeah, there's Eurocamp, Steins Gate, New Game, K-On!, and this one was my first anime I've ever seen, Domestic Girlfriend. Up there. It's up there. Top 5. It's up there, top 5. And I'm speaking from this as the manga perspective. I didn't find the anime too... it was alright, but it wasn't as incredible as the manga. The manga's incredible. I love it. Absolute. Oh my god. It was the first anime that I've watched. I don't know. That is probably when I first told Alex that, I bet he fell out of his chair.
I believe I did. But see, it's just funny that, back to the previous topic, how we bonded over the love of an anime that is pure dumpster fire. I'm not
Yeah.
insulting the anime. Don't get me wrong. I quite enjoyed the series. That was one of the very few mangas that I binged read. And I just could not put it down. It's like when you drive by a car wreck and you can't help but turn around to look at it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, that happened. I want to see more of that. And then you just sit and it's just like, oh, man, that happened. And I don't know if I enjoyed that or not. And I feel bad if I did. But Domestic Girlfriend is up in my top 5 because it's like, if I didn't watch Domestic Girlfriend, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now on a Japanaholic podcast discussing anime in Japan almost every freaking week. And it's funny. It's funny because while Domestic Girlfriend is my first anime that I've watched, it's technically not because it was the first anime I've completed. But the first anime I've technically watched was Attack on Titan. But
really? I didn't actually know that.
But I actually dropped it after like the 3rd episode, so I just kind of didn't like the characters that much. They kind of annoyed me to some extent.
I could definitely see that. Some of the characters in that show are extremely annoying.
Yeah. But I think that wraps it up for my top 5. I could go on and on, basically.
So do you want to now give a quick little overview of what the top 5 just was? List them just all in order right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Put them in an order of 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
Now that you've sitting there and said why you loved it, what you loved, give it a flat 1, 2, first place, second place, third place, etc.
Okay. Okay, top 2 is easy because it's Steins Gate and then Eurocamp. Okay, for me, because I really enjoyed both. It's kind of like a huge 180 when you watch Steins Gate and then you go to Eurocamp because it's like Steins Gate, everything's in your face. Every episode's like, oh my god, this is intense, insane, and there's twists and turns. And then you go to Eurocamp and it's just like a comfy anime and just girls doing camping things.
They're eating soup by a campfire.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's like a complete 180, but that's what I enjoy about Eurocamp is that I could watch something like Steins Gate, then go to Eurocamp and then feel at ease, especially, even if I have a terrible day, I can just watch Eurocamp and, hear Nadeshiko or Shimadine's voice and just feel at ease. Then we go to 3rd through 5. That's kind of tough for me. 3rd place maybe K-On! Because of the fact that I'm a rock and metal guy, and when you watch K-On! they are in like a rock band, so it kind of fits me personality wise. So I guess I like K-On! A lot. So there's that. 4th place is a toss up, but I think I'll give it to the manga of Domestic Girlfriend. Just because if you read it, and I think it's just because of the fact that there's so many freaking volumes and so many chapters of the series, it's just there's so much to take in, and all the and it could be a dumpster fire at times, but at other times it's the dumpster fire aside, the story is all right. And 5th place would be New Game because it's
the newest on your list.
Yeah, it kind of is, to be honest. Because I still need to watch the 2nd season, and I just started buying the mangas, so yeah, it is kind of one of the newer ones on my list. But that's my top 5 actually ranked. So
the best way to describe Domestic Girlfriend in D&D terms, the main character Natsuki always rolls a natural 20 on charisma checks, but has a 0 in luck skill. That is the best way to put it. He rolls nat 20s on charisma, but rolls critical failures on every other roll. Yeah. That is the best way to put it.
That is exactly right. I agree 100% about that.
But anyways, we can move on to our second question now. You get unlimited funding to fund either a pro wrestling anime or a NASCAR anime. You can only fund one of them.
So much story could be told with a pro wrestling anime, but the same thing could be said about NASCAR. Now, if anybody doesn't know that, because I haven't really talked about myself personally, outside of me loving Japan and me loving anime, but I do love NASCAR and I do love like pro wrestling.
I personally know Taylor for three things: NASCAR, wrestling, and anime.
Exactly. That's
So I figured I would combine all three and make him actually think. Here's the thing: there are plenty of racing animes. There ain't not one pro wrestling anime, unless you can't count Keijo with him going butt to butt.
That's true. So, at the same time, while a NASCAR anime would probably, I feel like, in terms of like, if I had to go in like depth, I would say pro wrestling would have more fans because of the fact that pro wrestling is massive. Like not just in America, but like in Japan, in China.
They got New Japan, all that.
Yeah, and got Canada and Mexico with the Lucha Libre and stuff like that. So maybe pro wrestling, just because of the fact that like, if I had unlimited funding and I had all the good stuff like the storytelling, and if I had the freaking art talent to draw the manga, okay, just being able to like tell a story of like of a wrestler, who works in pro wrestling and stuff like that. I'd probably go with pro wrestling, to be honest.
Let me ask you this question really quick. Have you ever watched Initial D?
I have not.
That's your homework. You are so into you are so into racing and do not know how you've never watched one of the biggest racing animes to ever exist. I am shocked and appalled by the fact that your NASCAR loving ass have not watched the closest thing to a NASCAR anime that exists.
Oh man, I'll probably get into it sometime this year, because I've been recommended Initial D so many times, but I think it's just because of the fact that I don't know. I think it's just I've been so lazy to watch it. I don't know. It's I kind of have no excuse. I gotta watch it because I am a NASCAR / racing fan. So
yeah, but sometimes your loves don't mix and combine them. I'll give you.
That's true.
I'll give you that.
That's true.
I love cooking.
That's true.
I've yet to find a cooking anime I really enjoyed.
Food Wars.
I haven't actually seen Food Wars. But anyways, I agree with you. I would 100% fund a wrestling anime. Growing up watching WWE and Lucha Libre cartoons, because there was a lot of cartoons about Lucha Libres. I would love to watch an in-depth anime with, You Can't See Me, John Cena doing a power bomb off the top of fucking Japan building. Yeah, I think a hyper-stylized, unrealistic wrestling anime would be really enjoyable.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to the next topic. We have the next couple of questions are kind of in a very similar category.
Okay.
Any manga or anime universe you can go live in. Which one is it?
Including the characters. It includes characters, right?
It includes the characters, but you are not the main character. You are Taylor, the normal guy. If the normal people in the anime have the ability to have powers to go on adventures, you have the ability to go on the power adventures. But this does not mean that you're a main character or friends with the main characters or friends with the main character side characters. You're just in that universe.
Now, I'm trying to think if I want to go for something off my top 5 or pull something out of my ass, because
your top 5 does not really have any fantasy realms. You have Steins Gate that exists in a relatively normal modern future, just where they find a way to time travel. Okay. You got Yuru Camp, where they're just hanging out in the woods. You got Domestic No Girlfriend, where that's just normal Japan.
Yeah.
You got K-On! Where they're playing guitars, and New Game where they're just playing video games. So you should really pull something out of your ass.
See, as much as I would love to get in an isekai world like Konosuba or Re:Zero, I think going to an isekai world would be hell.
Yeah, because you're not
the monsters.
Not even hell. You're just not the overpowered MC.
Yeah. So
you'd be the damsel in distress waiting for Mr. Smartphone to roll up and press delete.
Yeah. I would honestly have to go with the world of Yagare Kimi ni Naru, which is Bloom into You. One of my favorite animes in terms of animation.
I'm intrigued by your choice in this because that is like a normal everyday Japan.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like the scenery is beautiful and the animation itself is incredible. And I'll probably on this podcast I'll probably go more in depth into Yagare Kimi ni Naru.
Well,
very soon.
I can only hope that I'm there because I quite enjoy that series as well.
Oh, yeah, because because I know I'm not going to be one of the characters, but at the same time, I think that's a good thing because it mainly features two girls. Let them get it on.
It mostly features lesbians.
I'll be the camera person. Don't worry.
Wow, that was. Anyway, I would totally go to the world of Dan Machi and join a familia. No doubt in my mind, I would go dungeon exploring. Whether or not I'd live, that's another story.
That's true. I kind of agree with that as well. Dungeon exploring
that took me off base a little bit there.
Oh boy.
All right. Now that we talked about the world, now we're in this scenario. You're still a good old Taylor living in your Indiana there. You get 1 power from 1 character.
1 power from 1 character. Let's see. I'm trying to think. I can come up with a few. I can either be Shut up, phone. I can either be Futaro from the Quintessential Quintuplets and get a whole slew of badass bitches.
Yeah, no, having the Hera Magnet does not count as power. Sorry, bro.
Okay. Shit.
Also, a little side topic rant. Being a harem protagonist is fucking hell. Having to eventually pick one of these people who
you're not wrong.
You spend an arc with each one of these people. You find all reasons to love them, and hey, you gotta pick one now. That sounds like hell. So no, you don't want that power. Sorry, bro.
To be honest, so this mainly ties into isekai. So I kind of would love to have Kazuma's steel power, I guess, because it is a little useless outside.
Here's the question. Functions as in Konosuba, where you only grab panties, or as an actual skill? As intended skill? I'm getting down to the root of your pick right here.
If I could choose one, if I had to choose one or the other, I'd go for the panties. To be honest, because I don't know, because this is what happens when we record at midnight.
I mean, fuck, the last time I recorded it was like 2 a.m.
Fuck. But honestly, I don't know. Probably just go for the way that Kazuma usually uses it, because it sometimes is useful, but at the same time,
sometimes when it's not being used as a gag, he does actually steal useful things.
But I don't know. Just in general, I'd take Kazuma's power. But if I had to choose whether or not it would work as intended or work as what Kazuma does, most likely, which panties, I don't know. That's a tough decision, in my opinion.
I personally would go with Dragon Ball Ki. Being able to have Ki, being able to do stuff like Master Roshi and get all buff for as long as I can maintain the Ki, being able to fly. Because let's face it, I'm not one of those people who would easily turn into a supervillain once he gets superpowers. I would live a normal life and sometimes go, hey, this box heavy. Poof, off form. I think of it in a scale of aiding my everyday life, not I want to be able to fly around and blow up buildings with Kamehamehas. But alright. What is a light novel or manga that does not currently have an anime adaptation, or any hopes of getting an anime adaptation that you'd love to see adapted?
Oh, shit. Now you're going to have to make me... Because there's so many mangas and so many light novels that I've read over the past year and a half where I really want to see it get an anime adaptation. But I just don't think it will get an anime adaptation. See, one of the mangas I've read is titled, the English title is called I Shaved That I Brought a High School Girl Home. It's a long title, but it's a light novel, and I think it is going to get an anime adaptation.
I was going to say, yeah, do you realize that actually is getting adapted relatively soon?
Yeah.
There was an adaptation announced. I believe it's coming in next season.
Let's see. One that I...
You only pick one. You get the funding to pick one.
Funding to pick one. Let me see if I could find the one. There was one series that I've been reading. Let me see if I could quickly find the name of this. Just give me a sec. Okay, it's Shoot, not that one. Okay. It's called, the Japanese name is Ogami-san Daremore desu, which I am not, I'll look up the English title real quick, but this is one of the most hilarious slice of life I could really come up with, or that I've read in the past several months. The synopsis, I'll give off a description. Due to her perverted hobbies of fantasizing about the male body, Ogami has difficulty making friends. Her classmate, the cool Yaganuma, also keeps to himself, and Ogami thinks that maybe they could be friends if she could just stop having dirty daydreams about him. When Ogami tries to return Yaganuma's handkerchief one day, she ends up holding his hand and blurts out, quote-unquote, "Show me your dick."
Yep.
End quote.
I'm familiar with that series. It took me a second. I had to think about it a little bit.
It turns out Yaganuma has a power. Whoever touches him blurts out their secrets. I want to see that into an anime. I want to see that.
I 100% agree. I would love to watch that.
Because it would be because whoever would animate it would have a blast, and I love the hell out of that series. So I really want to see that into an anime series. If I had the funding for that, I'd freaking do it.
I bet. All right. This is the last question I really have prepared about anime or manga. What is one series that is relatively unknown, or maybe a series that has a bad reputation that many people don't enjoy, that you would love to see come to light more and have people see or enjoy it?
Domestic Girlfriend? No. See, this one's kind of like a complicated one for me, because it's like, I've seen a lot of underrated shows, but not in the sense that it's like because it has a bad reputation or anything like that.
Well, no, it could just be an underrated show that you don't think really anyone pays attention to.
I think, in my opinion, I would really love to see the Hattori Bochi series become more popular, because that series itself it's not really popular. You rarely get to see, or rarely find, people who love the Hattori Bochi series, and because it's super underrated, and it's underrated, but it's also like a really good series because it's super serious and stuff like that. But okay, I think one that's kind of underrated in my opinion for like a kind of a bad reason, I guess. I don't know. Mayuchiki. Some people kind of get turned off with Mayuchiki.
Really?
But yeah, I don't know. Whenever I talk about Mayuchiki, there have been times where people like do not agree. Like, there's been times where I've read like people didn't like the Mayuchiki series, and I kind of enjoyed the series itself. So either that or that series.
All right.
That's the only one I could really think of.
That's a respectable choice. But all right, so what are? Now I'll latch off some of the questions you gave me, so you have had some time to prepare and think about it. What are some your plans for the future here? Whether it be for Japanaholic or for yourself personally.
Okay, so because I've had a few days to think about this myself, actually. Future plans for the podcast itself is I would love to start incorporating more like guest, where I would love to have a permanent guest, but I want to see what happens with a one-man podcast as of right now, and possibly in like the near future, probably get someone like either Brody or like somebody, to be a permanent guest. So that way we can talk about Japan, talk about animes, and even some like games and stuff like that in general. So the plans for the podcast are that I would continue doing this every Wednesdays or every Saturdays, maybe Wednesdays and Saturdays, combining the 2 days, and just the podcast being about Japan and all that sort of stuff. Now, for me personally, I have a trip to Japan coming up in June that I would love to record podcast episodes on, and stuff like that. But I've been kind of wanting to save this until like later in the year, because it's not set in stone and it probably won't be till like August or October. But I want to move to Japan. My obvious thing is that I want to move out of the States, go to Japan, and live in Japan, where I would just live my life there because I love Japan. I've always loved traveling in general, but I really want to like live in Japan because the scenery's nice and the whole culture is like a whole step up from America, in my opinion.
So your intentions are to go to Japan in June to test the waters, and then within three to 4 months after, move there full time.
Yep.
Okay, that's respectable. You're living out every weeb's dream of getting to live in Japan.
Yeah.
Do you foresee traveling there in June and deciding that maybe moving isn't the best choice, or do you foresee yourself being there indefinitely by the end of the year, living there?
As of right now, the plans are is that I would travel in June, stay till July, come back, and work a little bit more, with my part-time job, of course, and I would save up enough money to eventually move there. When I move, I want it to be, a permanent move. I don't want to just move there for a few years and come back. I want to move there pretty much permanently, so there's that.
So now, do you intend on, what do you intend on working there, doing as a profession once you get to Japan? Let's talk a little more about your plans to move to Japan here. See,
the thing is that I really don't know what I could do in Japan, because it's you could, because everybody will be all like, oh, you could teach English in Japan, because English teaching in Japan is probably the biggest job opportunities for anybody who moves to Japan. But my issue is that to get deeper to me, I'm going to be graduating high school here shortly soon with just a general diploma. I'm not going to be getting I'm not going to be able to do a 4-year college. So which means I don't think I'm going to be able to, because the thing is that when I move, I'm not even going to be able to get I'm not going to be in college. What I plan on doing is going through Gogodihog, which they will take me to a language school in somewhere in Japan, preferably Kobe, Japan, which I've discussed before. That's where I would want to move if I ever do move. It's near Osaka, and it is a nice port city, and I've seen beautiful pictures of Kobe. But I would go to their language school there, and I would probably just see what I could do there. Maybe there'll be some job opportunities that could pop up every once in a while. So there's that.
Well, you know what? I currently have a Japan trip planned for August of 2021. 2021. So I look forward to being able to stay in your residence with you over there.
We can possibly make that happen depending on what happens. So, because I think I'll be moving there. April 2021 is the planned date to move.
And my planned trip is for fall of 2021, so in April, September, around there.
Mm-hmm.
Because the biggest reason I want to go to Japan is I want to go see the cherry blossoms.
Oh yeah, obviously.
That is the only reason I really want to go there. I don't want to go there for anime and manga, because let's face it, any anime or manga I'm gonna get in Japan is gonna be not in English, and even doubt I could find subbed stuff over there.
Yeah.
So I mostly want to go for the scenery and fall. I want to visit. I want to do some of the basic stuff like visit a temple in fall, or New Year's, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the thing is that with my trip to Japan, I'll probably get, because I'm taking it with Brody, who's been on this podcast before, but when this episode's up at least, me and him are going to talk about our plans later on in the future. So we'll go in depth about what we want to do and what we plan on doing and what's the confirmed situations and stuff like that. So look forward to that. That'll be a good episode.
Yes, that's about all that I had to ask for you. Is there anything you'd like to add on? Or would you like to end on the same question you ended with me? Subs versus dubs.
I think that one's obvious for anybody who's listened to this podcast. I watch subs, but I'll watch dubs whenever I've already seen the series, once and subbed. If I've seen...
So you'll watch it initially in subbed and watch it in dubbed?
Yes.
All right. That's more respectable than anyone else I've asked that question to.
Yeah. Because honestly, I understand that people really don't like to listen to dubs, but I also understand why people don't like to listen to subs. It's just, up and atoms.
You're in the middle of it. You understand both sides.
Yeah. So I guess I'll give a little bit more information on me, just like out of the blue kind of things. Because like I said before, I really haven't said much about what I am as a person myself. Outside of the fact that I live in Indiana and I love Japan, and see, I've been learning Japanese for roughly a year now up to this point, and I am far from being good at it, but I'm able to distinguish hiragana, katakana, kanjis, and because the main goal that I wanted to do for the podcast, or at least do something like this, very in the far future, I guess, is that I would make a Japanese 101 podcast or something like that, where it would be like, if you want to learn Japanese from like almost nothing, then here's somebody who learned Japanese from nothing, teaching you Japanese basically from nothing and working the way up the ranks and stuff like that, because it's always been on my mind and stuff like that I would want to get people into the Japanese culture, into the Japanese language. So I would always be like, well, I know Japanese, so let me teach some Japanese and Japanese cultures and stuff like that. But since I'm not fluent in Japanese just quite yet, it's not the easiest thing in the world. So that's why I've decided to wait a little while to start doing like Japanese 101 series on this podcast. So if you are wanting to become like a long time listener and stuff like that, that's something to look forward to, I guess. So I think other than that, that's really all there really is to it. I mean, basically, if you want to know like and some more stuff about me, especially like with me and Alex, there's the podcast where I interviewed Alex, where we discussed how we met and a couple like other personal things here and there. So yeah, there's that. But there really wasn't too much to really talk about today. Just more like the more anime side of things, and I kind of like that, because the last on the first part or whatever, we basically discussed what you do for a living, which is like you are a basic chef at a restaurant. So yeah, I work at a friggin' retail store. So yeah, not fun.
Yeah, but you know what? Not every job is always perfect.
Yeah, it's true.
So very rarely do people find a job that they do that they can love, and when the people who do are extremely lucky people.
Yeah, so that's what I kind of want to do differently in the next couple of years. Is I want to start making this into a job that I can actually enjoy. So, I think if that's all you can ask for me, I think we could wrap up this episode here of the Japanaholic Podcast. I will do an interview with Brody, so you will get to know him, and it'll be the same kind of questions as I did with Alex. So, I will definitely look forward to that in the near future. But thank you, Alex, for interviewing me and being on this podcast for this for another week.
It's definitely been a blast.
It has been, and I will see you in the next Japanaholic episode. Good night, everybody.